What is up, YouTube? How y'all doing? This is the second part for what if Deku had the 10 shadows technique, or what if Deku was like Megumi Fushiguro and had his powers. Well, I have nothing to say for the intro, so let's just get on right onto it, yeah. So, let's do a little recap of where I left off. So, the father of Izuku Midoriya, for now, is presumably All For One. Well, it is All For One, but nobody knows that except for like a select few. And he has a sister, has the powers of Yorozu. She'll be important for the plot later on. After the defeat of All For One has been killed by All Might. All Might's like a little more less goofy than before, because he has blood on his hands. He never wanted blood on his hands, even though he always is like, oh, I'm gonna kill All For One, blah 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 blah. But yeah, after that, after the death of All For One, Aizawa decided to adopt both Izuku and his sister, who I'm just gonna call as Izumi, just for simplicity's sakes. That's what everybody would name his sister apparently, so I'll just go with the flow, yeah? So, moving on from that, we can see that, well, from the previous episode, I made him get like almost half of his shadows, which is the Max Elephant, Orochi, the Divine Dogs, a Rabbit Escape, and the Frogs. The rest, I'll just implement them later on. I'll just have what Megumi showed at the start of the series for JJK. And domain expansion, well, you just have to see. And in the exams for UA, of course, Aizawa recommended him. Well, not like he recommended him to UA. He recommended that he would take the normal exams to like test himself, because that's how Aizawa is. He doesn't do all that recommended bullshit. So taking on his advice, he went on, took the exams, and we can see that's his first time using Black Flash against a zero pointer, and a little twist I added just for this what if, of where it's a 10 shadow secret technique that I just invented on the spot called Fusion, where you can fuse with his summons or one of his shadows. Then he can gain the animalistic features and a boost to his overall stats. But that wasn't enough, so he had to use a Black Flash because he was too desperate to do it. But of course, after that he tried to emulate it again, but it just didn't happen. Happened on the spur of a moment. Couldn't figure out how Black Flash worked. Of course, later on in the story, when he does Black Flash again, maybe he can understand how it works. We'll just see what happens. Why don't we? Alright, it's already been 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's move on to the story. Okay, so we start this what if off when Izuku goes to his first day of school. He notices Aizawa sleeping, typical him, and he sits down, sees the people come in, and then Uraraka comes in and she's like, oh my god, thank you for saving me, you're so cool. And then people who were actually with him, let's say Ida's like, you were commemorable, blah 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 blah, and all that shit. And Aizawa couldn't help but smile, because it's his child, adopted, but still, he's proud. But of course, after everybody came in, Aizawa came up, said, shut up, we have a little test, come down. Didn't even give anybody a chance to explain themselves. So, we go down to the changing rooms. Of course, Mineta does this little bullshit. The dudes are talking to each other, and then Izuku steps in and says that's disrespectful, and then scares him, saying that ever do this shit again, I'll have my dogs eat you, little pipsqueak. Because, let's be honest, Mineta doesn't have any qualifications to be in Class 1A. I would rather have some of Class 1B inside of Class 1A, but I get it. The classes need to be balanced. Not every single powerhouse needs to be inside of one singular class. But yeah, anyways, leaving that aside, we go to the test. And for the ball throw, of course, Izuku got the highest points, because he's just like that. Because his villain points didn't really help much, but his rescue points were the deciding factor. One for his showcase of defeating the 0-pointer, and of course, as I mentioned before in the story, he had helped people even before he took out the 0-pointer, so extra hero points for him, which made his points well over Bakugo's. Bakugo, of course, is very pissed off at this. He's livid. But what's done is done. He can't really say anything else other than that, and Aizawa, of course, puts him on a leash. Izuku goes up. Well, you know what he's going to do. He summons Nue. He just gives it to Nue, and then Nue goes and just blitzes off to God knows where. And let's just say 4 kilometers. Nice. That's too much, isn't it? Let's say 3 kilometers. Yeah, sure. I just minus 1 kilometer. That's 3 kilometers is the distance where he can summon his summons. And then after that, the range just goes. So Aizawa commends him. He's like, cool. And the next, Bakugo, of course, gets what, like 700 or 800. He's like, fuck. How dare you? That's not even. And then, of course, before he can finish his sentence, Aizawa's like, shut up, go back in line. The other tests happen. Izuku, as much as he wanted to use his fusion techniques, he knows that it puts a lot of strain on him, and he needs to figure how to master it before he actually uses it for like tests and shit. So mostly he was average, but with the help of his creativity and whatnot, he was able to get like 8th place. And of course, these tests aren't. It's just a physical assessment. You can't really make a tailor-made assessment for each and every single student. I mean, UA can do that, but I don't know why they didn't do it. Because this test is just purely physicality stuff. And then people with quirks who have better physicality and like literal speed quirks like Ida can pass the speed tests easily. So I don't know what they were trying to do there, but it is what it is. We'll just follow the plot. Okay, so test is over. Izuku got 7th place, so alright. After that, the second day rolls in, boring as fuck. But then All Might comes in, not as usual as his goofy self. Not really. But, yeah. Because, you know, at the start of the episode, I've told you, because he killed All For One with the blood on his hands, he's not that as goofy as before, but he's still a little bit goofy. So he comes with a smile on his face, just not the I'm coming in through the door like a normal person type shit. Alright. So he comes in and it's like, you know what, let's go inside, go to the fake cities, heroes versus villains. He gets all the, like, put on your costumes. The costumes for Izuku is pretty much plain, I guess. It's just a battle suit. That's like tailor-made with like Kevlar, titanium, and all that. Because, you know, even if he does his fusion is not really that perfect, and he still needs some protection here and there. And he has some like knives, and as much as I wanted him to like adopt the fighting style of Aizawa, like with his little scarf and shit, I don't like. That doesn't really suit him, does it? The whole scarf stuff, if I decide to make like an Aizawa son kind of thing, then defo. It's like a given. But I just don't think someone like Izuku would be too fared in the style of Aizawa's. So he just has a normal battle suit. I'm not gonna make his suit, like his costume similar to the JJK uniform because it has his ass. So yeah, he has little knives. He has like brass knuckles and whatnot for close hand combat, and long range. I don't think he does. The best he can do is mid range with his knives, but that's pretty much it. And we're just gonna gloss over the other parts because I don't really want to go over the other fights here. Let's just focus on Izuku, as any other Warrior does. So for this, it's going to be Bakugo, of course, but instead of Ito, is it? I forgot who was Bakugo's partner. It's going to be Bakugo and Kaminari against Izuku and Uraraka. I'm going to keep the Uraraka Bakugo part still there, because I want to make it a little different. So yeah, and Bakugo's like, I'm going to crush you. As usual, it's like, die, 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 but of course, my boy Izuku doesn't care. Alright, so, shit starts. Well, the heroes are Izuku and Uraraka, and the villains are Bakugo and Kaminari. And Izuku comes up with a plan saying that she needs to scout where everything is while she floats around while he's trying to gather. Oh yeah, he'll have Nue scroll around, but not that much because they will notice it. They're like, ah, shit, he's trying to gain intel and stuff. But this is a distraction for Uraraka to use her floating ability to scope around. They go in, Uraraka and them split up. He goes up, while Uraraka goes around the building, check where the bomb is, and she finds it, while Bakugo is just yelling at Nue, and then Kaminari is freaking out because lightning cancels out lightning. I think. Let's just say it does. Nue's lightning can cancel out more lightning. So, Kaminari is freaking out, Bakugo is yelling at it, and then while the distraction's happening, Uraraka spots where they are and where the bomb is, relays it to Izuku, and he's like, got it. So he goes up, spots Bakugo, and is like, your bird is fucking annoying. And then Nue comes back, and is like, well, shit's about to get more annoying. Rabbit Escape. He summons Rabbit Escape while Nue is still present, and then he overwhelms Bakugo and then tries to electrocute him. But Bakugo just goes haywire, just going blasting everywhere. Well, Izuku's trying to get in close proximity to at least getting a few hits in. It's very hard to because of his explosions everywhere. He's just not stopping. But then he gets sick of it while Izuku's trying to... Well, of course, the knives are blunt in this case. Not really that blunt, but like it's not like sharp as shit. Like a little graze won't leave a huge scar. It'll just leave like a tiny ass scratch. Because it's still at the end of the day a practice run. It's not an actual fight. In actual fights, he will have like actual weapons, which All Might said are really dangerous. But who cares? Support Course gets to make cool ass knives, and they're all for it. But for now, he's using a teeny tiny bit blunt ones. He tries to fight with them, but then of course they get knocked out. He puts on his brass knuckles and then has Nue fuck him up while the rabbit escapes are going everywhere, just overwhelming him. And then he gets like 2 hits in, and he gets annoyed as shit. Kaminari is over there and just trying to deal with Uraraka, but then of course he hears Bakugo like suffering against him. It's like, shit, I gotta go help him. And as the dumbass he is, he just leaves while Uraraka is trying to touch the bomb. But of course, Kaminari is still fending her off, so he can't really help Bakugo, can he? And so Bakugo gets pissed the fuck off. And then the gauntlet happens. He got enough sweat with all that bullshit, and so he releases it, incinerating the rabbits. Nue gets fucked. But this thing, he thought of this before. One way to deal with mass amounts of explosions, as he thought he would just release it in an instant, but I guess he needs like some sort of mechanism to help him. He desummons Nue, summons Max Elephant, and then the water. It has a water ability, so it sprays water enough to buy Izuku enough time to go away, like hide behind a pillar. Max Elephant gets cooked. It's not gonna reappear for a whole day. Oh yeah, little side note. If uh if like a summon gets cooked, like actually cooked, then it's just going to not a summon for like a day or two, depending on the damage. Max Elephant is highly durable, so something like Bakugo's Gauntlet Explosion won't like incinerate it, like it won't demolish it to the point it won't appear for of 2 days. It was just gonna be gone for a day. But if something like Rabbit Escape got fucked as well, it's not gonna appear for like 3 days. So yeah. Now after Max Elephant gets cooked, he's like shit. Well, that at least leaves one of the gauntlets down, and then so he needs to take the other one out because he knows for sure that he has another one ready. So he hides in the shadows. He has an all black outfit, so it's pretty easy for him to hide. And he's like, "Where are you hiding, you little shit?" But then, of course, he summons the frogs as a distraction, and then he summons Orochi, not to attack him, but to use a secret technique again. Fusion. Fuses with Orochi. He gets taller, gets scale armor, fangs, all that good shit. So he slithers, rushes towards him, and then while the frogs are just pissing the fuck off, he gets distracted by that. He wraps around him, not like entirely like a snake, but like it's similar to how Nagisa coiled around Karma while they were dueling out. And then it was literally like a snake. So like that, he put him on a tight hold, broke both of his gauntlets in a matter of an instant, and puts him on a chokehold. And Bakugo is like going crazy, putting explosions everywhere. But of course his scales are like very, very tough and shit. Even if his costume gets blown away, his scales still protect him. And yeah, that's the end of Bakugo. He puts a little thing on him. But then comes nobody, because Kaminari is still dealing with Uraraka. Uraraka is fried. And then she's moving around, maneuvering everywhere, but of course, she gets cooked by Kaminari. At this time, I don't think Uraraka is enough to fare up against Kaminari. Kaminari is like a very powerful guy, I guess. Because they don't know each other that much in this point of the story. Therefore, Kaminari can easily beat someone like Uraraka. And so, yeah, Izuku goes up. He has like, a minute left on his fusion technique. So he goes, finds Kaminari. Kaminari is like, shit, one more output and I'll go dumb mode. I have to make this count. So he charges up all the electricity he has, tries to hit him, but of course, to no avail, it didn't work. Of course, Izuku got fucked up a little bit, but it didn't matter. He goes dumb mode, touches the bomb, heroes win, barely. Then Izuku goes out of the fusion form before the time runs out, because when the time runs out, he will be exhausted as hell and will go unconscious. But if he goes out of his will before the timer runs out, he will be only exhausted as fuck. And that concludes the Heroes vs. Villains arc. Now, I wanted to do USA for the next part, but it's only been like, 19 minutes. I'm sure I'll take another 20 minutes to do this, but who cares? Let's do this. A couple weeks pass by, USJ happens, and Izuku's still trying to figure out how to do Black Flash, while on the sidelines he's mainly focusing on how to extend his timer for his fusion abilities. So yeah, USA rolls around, they all go inside and it's like, and then Kirishima spots the fake villain. It's like, fake villains in quotation marks. He's like, whoa, you guys got fake villains? That's so cool, bro. It's like, fake villains? What? That's crazy. Then, of course, Aizawa was like, those are not fake villains. Get away. And then Ida, go call for backup. But then doors close. And then Kuragiri comes in. Not Shigaraki. Why Shigaraki is not here, you may ask? Well, I'm not gonna tell you. It's just gonna be Kuragiri and then Noble. Yeah, the Noble's out already. It's gonna go ballistic. As per the orders of a certain someone that I'm not gonna mention. But, yeah. Kuragiri is like, I can't allow you to leave. But of course, the students of class 1A mollywop him enough for Ida to escape to call the teachers. Aizawa goes into battle. Izuku follows, tries to follow, but then of course, everybody gets teleported along. And then, yeah, let's just make it the same. Him, Tsuyu, and Mineta to the little cruise thingy. Of course, he gets drowned, and he's like, shit. I'll just have to summon Nue then. But before he does that, Tsuyu grabs him out of the water, and of course Mineta as well. He does his little creepy antics, and Izuku just knocks him out. He's like, yeah, he won't be necessary for this. Fuck Mineta. You know what? I should have done this a long time ago. Mineta is not gonna be here anymore. Mineta gets expelled after the little test thingy. I don't care. Mineta's expelled. So yeah, Mineta's not there. It's just gonna be Tsuyu and Izuku. Yeah, fuck Mineta, bro. I hate that dude. Even though he had like a little redemption arc in the manga, but I don't really give a fuck. Alright, so this is gonna be Tsuyu and Izuku, and then Izuku sees all the villains in the war is like perfect. He calls upon Nue, and he's like, electrocute. Wow, electrocute the fuck out of them, Nue. And then Nue goes into the water, electrocutes the fuck out of them. And yeah, mission accomplished. Bro got like, what, 20 to 25 villains in a matter of seconds? Crazy. And then he grabs onto Tsuyu, gets on top of Nue, flies, sees Aizawa getting mollywopped by Nomo, because Nomo was already released. I already told you this. So yeah, it's like, shit, dad! And then and then he makes Tsuyu regroup with the others, make her help other people and shit. So yeah, Izuku enraged. He instantly goes over there, calls upon the divine dogs, and Nue is still present. He's riding on Nue, and then he's making the dogs fight for him while he fights in the air. Of course, Nomo ain't having that. Aizawa, even though, he's like, no, Izuku, get back, you can't handle this thing. And it's like, if I can't handle this thing, then it's gonna kill you. So yeah, the dogs are getting absolutely cooked. But of course, with the help of Izuku and Nue, it's somewhat happening, and Aizawa is there, very disgruntled, while using his erasure ability, so it's a little bit easier for Izuku to deal with the Nomu. Let's just say his shock absorption is gone. Even if it is gone, it won't be that much of a difference because Izuku's not that strong yet. So he tries to do something, but it's not working at all. And so he has no option but to go full power. And so he calls upon his wolves, and then he uses his secret technique, fusion. He calls upon usually I would just limit his summons to just 2 per fight, but let's just say emotional output, emotional burst, it gives him a little boost. Therefore, he can summon 3 now. But of course, only for like a limited period of time. Because, on top of that, he's using Fuse. That's not gonna be good. Alright, so he fuses with both of his dogs. It's like a divine totality, but then he fuses with them. He calls upon Nue and Max Elephant. Max Elephant to take the brunt of the damage, Nue to disgruntle him with electricity and shit, and then to stun him, and then of course him with the divine dogs. He's fast as shit while delivering some good blows, but it's not working. It's not enough. It's just keeping him at bay. Then he can't just keep on doing this. He can't know when All Might were alive, so he needs to do something. He needs Black Flash, and then he can't do it for some reason. He's so desperate, but then it clicks. He just needs to focus. He needs to do it fast. He needs to use his curse energy more. Divergent fist. He just keeps on punching and punching and punching. Then finally, one punch landed, and 2 words flashed in his mind: Black Flash. He hits a Black Flash, but it disgruntles the shit out of the normal. It's staggered. Newest electricity, more stagger. The elephant is going crazy on him. And then, of course, he doesn't stop there. Hits him. Bam! Black Flash. Hits him. Another Black Flash. It's not consecutive, but he did it. He does 5 punches, and then boom, he gets a Black Flash. That's 3 in a row. The normal is getting cooked. With the added damage of both Nue and Max Elephant, while being heavily weakened due to Aizawa's erasure ability, and on top of that, he's getting hit by Black Flashes thrice. Not consecutive, but still 3 Black Flashes, while on top of that, consecutive punches with a more faster, more durable, more powerful Izuku. Keeps on punching. Then Kurogiri is like, shit, I'm already occupied with these little, he's already occupied with class 1A, and the other, like, grunts, already, like, half of them got, shit on by Aizawa, and the rest is, like, frozen or blasted away by Todoroki and Bakugo. Then Bakugo's like, I want in on that action. And so Bakugo starts exploding the shit out of him, and same with Todoroki. Keeps shooting shards. He tries to freeze him, but of course, normal ain't having all that. It goes ballistic. It starts regenerating slowly, but still regenerating. Gets out of Todoroki's ice, focuses on Bakugo, but then suddenly gets hit by Max Elephant. So it's just jumping Kaizen type shit. He's getting jumped left, right, center, everywhere. Normal can't take it anymore. It's getting slower, but slower, and then comes All Might. And right on time, Izuku goes out of his transformation. Max Elephant and both Max Elephant and Nue gets desummoned. He goes unconscious, and almost like, oh dang, that shit looks very dangerous. So he goes in, punches the shit out of normal, and of course it's weakened to the core. Aizawa went unconscious. Bakugo's like, let me out, but then of course he can't keep up with All Might, beating the shit out of normal, which his help was not even needed, to be honest. And with a couple more punches, it gets cooked. Kurogiri is like, dang it. He'll be so mad after he hears this. And so he retreats. They capture a few of the villains. The normal's not functioning anymore because his brain got obliterated from his brain already got obliterated from the amount of shock, explosion, and ice. And on top of that, one of the Black Flashes actually hit his face and damaged some part of his brain, and then more consecutive punches from All Might just absolutely cooked. So yeah, normal ain't gonna be normal anymore. And that concludes the USA arc. And Izuku, of course, is enlightened about curse energy now. 3 black flashes. Now that is going to be very essential for his understanding of curse energy and how his powers work. So yeah, we'll see that in the next episode though, because this is going to be the end of episode number 2 or part 2 of what if Deku had the 10 Shadows technique, or what if he was like Megami Fushiguro and had his powers. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this what if. Let me know what you think. Leave a like if you really do like it, and I'm sorry if I like stuttered a lot. I'm sorry if I just said everywhere. Cause yeah, my script, I'm not really good at writing a script, so I just wrote like a shitty script, and it ended prematurely. I didn't really get to like give my ideas more into the script, so I was like, you know what, fuck it. When I record, the ideas just flow into me like crazy. It's so overwhelming that I can't really put it into words, because it's idea after idea after idea after idea, just scene after scene after scene. It's crazy. And when I'm writing a script, it just doesn't come out. That ability doesn't come out. So I'm sorry if I just stuttered and ums a lot. So yeah. Yeah. I just did an again. Well, I'll see you guys later. Sorry for the little yap at the end and at this. Well, I didn't really yap at the start, but 3-minute introduction is crazy. I'm still yapping. Sorry about that. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy this what if, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.